All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
You are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing. And
All right, everybody, welcome into Inside the Game. My name is Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield in the building here, the producer as always. And we've got a fun show here today, second to last show of the week. Obviously, remember, next week, no show at all because I'll be going on vacation. And which means that'll lead us right into, when we come back, a recap of the first weekend of the Premier League, the MLS, all that fun stuff, La Liga, whatever it is going on. But we are so close to all of the leagues starting back up, also in America as well. Swiss Michael's already in the chat, says, here we go. Hello, guys. Hello to Swiss. But yeah, for the people at home that don't know about American football, NFL, the Detroit Lions play NFL preseason today. The Detroit Lions play NFL preseason football today. I will not overreact on players who will not be on this team and will get cut after today. I will not overreact to any of that. But it's so good to have NFL football back, which it always, when NFL preseason is around the corner, that always means that the Premier League season, the Champions League season is right around the corner, which means we are finally getting out of the dead period of soccer/football around the world. We're getting back into the swing of things, and soccer really is just one of those sports that never really sleeps. Even in some summer, like there's like one summer out of like a 4-year span that actually like where there's legitimately nothing. We had the World Cup. Next summer, I don't think there's anything besides the Women's World Cup, and then you've got the Euros, Copa America after that. Swiss says, boo, LOL, let's go Bears. By the way, I don't know if the people know, but according to reports yesterday, the Bears are on their way. Obviously, people know that they're on their move to Indiana. And the state of Indiana now is actually going to require the Bears to change its name to the Indiana Bears. No longer, because some people thought, well, they're going to keep the name of Chicago Bears, even though they're moving to Indiana. No, Indiana is now requesting that they move to the Indiana Bears. So the Chicago Bears name is slowly just going down by the wayside. And James, I know you're an NFL guy, you're a Lions guy, so you've paid attention to the Chicago Bears quite a bit. What's your thoughts on the name of the Indiana Bears?
Come on. I mean, you can't. I mean, the Bears have been around for how long? I mean, come on.
Too long.
You can't. I mean, I know they've done it in the past. They've done it with like the Raiders and all that stuff, and we've dealt with
Chargers recently.
Yeah, the Chargers and Rams and everything. But I don't know. I feel like the Bears. It's like they're like one of the most iconic bad teams of all time. You got to leave it as Chicago.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why. I mean, they're moving. I mean, the state of Illinois.
That's like if we suddenly had like the freaking like Dallas Lions or something. It wouldn't make sense.
Again, I understand why the Bears are moving. Like, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because the state of Illinois is giving them no tax break at all and is like ruining the. I'm not mad at the Bears for moving to Indiana, and Hammond, Indiana is like 20 minutes away from downtown Chicago,
right,
where they're playing. But the fact that they have to change their name to the Indiana Bears is just wild. Swiss Michael says,
yeah, exactly.
Swiss Michael says, I'm a Bears fan because of Chicago. If it's Indiana, I'm no longer a fan.
It's a culture thing, right? I mean, come on, like look at those SNL skits, right? Da Bears, like
da Bears,
da Bulls.
Again, they're not moving yet. They're not moving yet, but that is what it's going to be. By the way, Fabian said smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. And in the Scary Movie voice, what's up? What's up?
Did the tongue and everything. There you go.
he. Why is Fabian hating on the Red Wings?
No, man, don't change the shirt. Red Wings, all the way.
It might suck ass now, but I mean, it's hockey. It's hockey town. Even though we can't call ourselves Hockey Town anymore because we haven't made the playoffs in a decade.
Hey, weren't we? Yeah, we were Hockey Town when we were back in the day before we even went on that run in the 90s.
We made the playoffs for like 20 straight years. yesterday.
We were Hockey Town before then, I think.
Oh yeah, because when like the Gordie Howe attended.
Yeah. I mean, the octopus on the ice, all of that.
Exactly.
You know?
Go Devils. Ugh. No, not the dude. Even though Jack Hughes is on that team, so shout out Team USA for that.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was at the Tigers game with my dad, and we were talking, and he's like, I was like, have you ever been to a Detroit playoff sports game? And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I've been to a couple of Red Wings. I was like, you guys had 20 years straight of going to Red Wings playoff games all the time. So, it is. I just don't understand. Okay. This is after the NFL, ice hockey is the next best sport.
See, I've actually said that to myself. Like, I've even talked about like contact sports. Like, right? I'm like, is hockey or football? Like, which one is even more full contact? Like, you think football, but it's like. But when you watch hockey, football. Those checks, man, oh my gosh.
I'd agree, but
I think that's the good trade-off, though. It's like after football, you're like, I need a fix. It's like, I'm just going to watch people fight in hockey.
Too many New Jersey Devils fans in here, man. Too many. Fabian says Real Madrid will be giving belt to ass to Arsenal this year. Last time I checked, I think Declan Rice just scored another free kick against Thibaut Courtois. And I think Bukayo Saka just shushed the Bernabeu. So that's all I got to say. This is a Jose Mourinho documentary? No, I have not watched it. I'm not watching the special one, as he likes to call himself. But anyway, this is a good segue into our first topic of the day. Is that the Premier League's money is just like up here and everyone else's money is down here. As you saw the thumbnail on the video, the Premier League is the only non-farmers league in the world. More than La Liga, more than Bundesliga, Serie A, and Ligue 1. I just want to go over a quick stat with you guys from this summer alone. The Premier League, in totality so far this summer, has spent a total of 2.05 billion euros on transfers so far this summer. La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, and Ligue 1 have spent a total of 2.47 billion euros this summer. So four leagues around the world with one of these teams in one of these leagues has spent over like 200 million on transfers already this summer. They haven't even spent over over 50 million euros on the Premier League yet. Like that's insane. Four different leagues have not spent just a hair over the Premier League's money. So let's ask, what is a Farmers League? The Farmers League, I mean, I don't know if people use it around Europe, but I know people in America like to talk about the Farmers Leagues. The Farmers Leagues are basically leagues that are trash. That's basically what all that means. Like PSG, Ligue 1, that's a Farmers League because there's only one good team. La Liga, Farmers League because that's only two good teams in there, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Bundesliga is just Bayern Munich. Serie A has just been ass recently, but their money is just stupid. The Premier League money is just stupid. And over the money that has been spent so far, Morgan Rogers, 117 million. Elliot Anderson, I think 116 million. Bruno Guimaraes is for like 85 or 75 million, I believe is what his price tag was. I believe, hold on, I just had it pulled up. On how many they've spent already this summer, like the top transfer window or the top transfers already. But that's the main one. The fact that Morgan Rogers is going for 117 million is just crazy. Mateus Fernandes has moved for 85 million. Sandro Tonali has moved to Tottenham for 92.5 million, which is just wild. And then you think about Anthony Gordon. He's left to go to Barcelona for just 70 million. And he's not even like a top 10 winger, maybe top 5 winger. And he's probably borderline top 10 winger in the Premier League. And then LaCroix has moved to Chelsea for 52 million. And then I want to go over like the broadcast deals for all this stuff. La Liga, which has the two of the biggest clubs in the world of Barcelona and Spain, their broadcast domestic deal does not even come close. It's still $1 billion short from over $1 billion short from what the Premier League's broadcasting deal is. So like the money that is in the Premier League is just insane. Like I really don't understand how I've ever I don't understand the amount of money and the amount of publicity. That's why Arsenal was trying to get Vinny Jr. and say, you could be the face of the biggest league in the world. And I would say it's the biggest league in the world. I would argue that it's probably the toughest league in the world to win as well. If you look at the other leagues across what is it? Across Bundesliga, that's just one team. La Liga is just two teams. Ligue 1 is just one team. Serie A has got probably a good balance of teams, but those teams against the Premier League's teams are just not the best. Yeah, no, Fabian, you're correct. The Premier League contracts are crazy. I think Gabriel Jesus right now is making still $300,000 or £300,000 a week. I think 250 to 300,000, and that guy doesn't even play for Arsenal anymore. Really, he's just a bench guy, and he plays like once every like month. It feels like so. Like some of these contracts are just insane, and the fact that a guy like Mateus or Fernandez is moving for $85 million from a relegated Premier League side is just insane to me, and it's just crazy to think about the amount of money that they have. And all of this money really just comes from the broadcasting deal, which their broadcasting deal is $12 billion. $6 billion in domestically in the UK and in England, and then 6 odd billion for the broadcasting rights domestically. So here in the United States, that is NBC, USA, kind of combination, TNT. I think they're all like the same thing. It feels like all the time. And I don't know what some of the other, whatever the broadcasters and the broadcasting companies have in Spain, Switzerland, Scotland. I don't know what exactly it all is. But the broadcasting deals are the reason why all of this happens. And if you look at the player endorsements as well, you don't see like Bayern Munich, massive club, PSG, massive club. I don't see many of those players in endorsement deals. I could see, I think Dembele I've seen once or twice. Harry Kane I don't see at all. Harry Kane when he's in the Prem I saw. But then you go to La Liga. I would say you see Lamine Yamal, you see Vinny Jr., Mbappe you see. Other than that, I don't see many others. Maybe I'm probably wrong maybe I'm missing a couple here and there, but you don't see a whole lot. Then all of a sudden you get to the Premier League and it's like Bukayo Saka's on my TV all the time. You look at Erling Haaland who's on my TV all the time. Like all of these Premier League players, and the fact that, and it's also, it feels like as well, whenever I'm watching an NBC broadcast, whether that's Sunday Night Football, whether that is, oh gosh, what is it? College football. What did I just see the other day? Oh, MLB. That's what I just saw the other day when I was watching the Tigers. And it was like I am seeing Premier League ad after Premier League ad after Premier League ad. And now here in America, La Liga is on ESPN. Yet in the Bundesliga as well. But yet I never see Bundesliga ads. I don't see any other ads for La Liga. I just don't. But you go to NBC, which the Premier League is on, they do a fantastic job of advertising and promoting those deals. That's why everyone is always kind of upset in America when it comes to the American domestic player, like a Pulisic, like a McKennie and Adams, those types of guys that just aren't given like any publicity at all. All the publicity goes to the Premier League players because that's what the majority of fans or American fans like. A couple of comments getting in here. So Michael says, in the UK that they get like 3 times the money for TV contracts than all the other leagues. No, I did not. I did not know that. Fabian says, you see I show up and everyone comes in. Yes, Fabian. Yes, we do. You clearly run the show, don't you, Fabian? No, we appreciate all the support from you guys. Like people like you, Swiss Michael, Dave, let's see who else comes in. Ronald comes in on the occasion. Baco comes in. We appreciate all the love on the occasion. I probably forgot a couple of our normal people. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Real Betis, and Atletico Bilbao. The rest suck ass. I don't see Bilbao or Betis doing legitimately anything in the league. In the USA Network, they show the EPL. Yes, they do. It used to not be that way, but now it is. Depends on the area you live in. Latin America, all they show is La Liga. Yeah, that makes sense. More Spanish accent. Baco says, morning to all. By the way, I know Baco is from like the Chicago area. What's your thoughts on the Indiana Bears? I'd like to hear what we talked about that already this morning about the fact that the Indiana Bears are changing their names. But no, like you look at the American soccer fan and whatever it is. Like, I would bet you 9 times out of 10 growing up and even now talking to people, they are a Premier League fan. They are that's just what they are. They're either an Arsenal, a Liverpool, they're one of the big six fans. They're either Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City, Manchester United, or Chelsea. They're one of those six fans. Like that's just the reality of it. You don't see many Barcelona, Real Madrid fans, at least in the areas that I have been in. I don't see it. I know a couple people that are fans of Real Madrid and Barcelona simply because of Ronaldo and Messi. I don't know if they're fans of them anymore, but I know they've kind of stopped watching after Messi and Ronaldo have both kind of left those two clubs. And when Ronaldo went to Juve and then and Messi went to PSG. But like that is Aston Villa. They are making some headway recently. They might be losing one of their best defenders in Ezri Konsa to Arsenal, by the way. And they did lose yesterday in the the Super Cup yesterday? Yeah, they lost in the Super Cup yesterday, which I completely forgot about yesterday. Like I wasn't paying attention at all. That's how out of the loop I am with soccer at the moment. Just wanted to take a step back after the busy World Cup that we had with all the different fans and all the USL stuff that we were doing. But again, the money that the Premier League have is just completely different. Like, and even if you look at the valuations of clubs, like in the top 10, I think like 8 out of the top 10 or 7 out of the top 10 are Premier League clubs, or probably 6 out of the top 10 are Premier League clubs, I should say. I think it's Bayern, Atletico, Real Madrid, and what's it called? PSG's up there as well. So like the thing is though is that all those owners in the big six, I think 4 out of the top 6, no 5. 5 out of the big 6 are all American owners. And what did we talk about earlier this week? Yeah, no, the Indiana Bears. Yeah, the state of Indiana is now requiring that the Chicago Bears change their name to the Indiana Bears. That they are requiring that now. My brother is a Villa fan. LOL. I like them as well. Low key. That's a good way. That's a good way to that's a good way of putting it. We've got a great team, and we're going to give belt to butt to Ryan's team. Bro, we're not even going to play each other, Real Madrid and Arsenal, because you guys will get knocked out in the round of 16, and Arsenal will be cruising their way into a Champions League final yet again. Afternoon to you too, Dave. But, like, out of the 5 out of the big 6 clubs, it used to not be because after Roman Abramovich and how corrupt he was, and how he got Chelsea to where they are, they're all American owners, and now you got Jeff Bezos, third wealthiest guy in the world, now investing in Liverpool. All of these American owners that are investing into the game, even Michael B. Jordan, one of the actors in America, has invested in Bournemouth. J.J. Watt and Dude Perfect, for whatever reason, have invested in Burnley. Like, all of the American owners, all the American, high-level people are just changing or just investing all of their money into Premier League clubs. I don't see many American people investing into Barcelona or Real Madrid. The only one is Travis Scott. He's been closely involved with Barcelona for whatever reason. No, I have not. I still have not seen the Jose Mourinho documentary yet. Can't change the name to Da Bears. Well, they still have to be called Da Bears, even though they're called the Indiana Bears. But no, again, Kroenkes. They own the Rams, the Denver Nuggets, the Avalanche, Colorado Rapids, and a lacrosse team that's been winning all the time. And now they've got Arsenal as well. And then you've got you're right. Swiss, Ryan Gosling and Matt Kaleni. They invested in a 5th. Yeah, Wrexham was 5th division when they took over. I mean, that's Wales, but still in the EFL and could eventually get to the Premier League at one point. And then you look at Chelsea, Todd Boehly, who owns the Dodgers, who are just ruining baseball as we speak. He owns now Chelsea, FSG, Fenway Sports Group, who own the Boston Red Sox. They own Liverpool, and now Jeff Bezos is putting in some money into that as well. Tottenham's owner I don't think is American. So I think 4 out of the big 6. And then the Glazers, who own the Tampa Bay Bucks, who own the Manchester United. So all of the American owners were a lot of I think America probably has the most billionaires and millionaires, right? Like that's, James, is that true? Like America probably has the most billionaires, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And all of those billionaires, again, would love for them to invest domestically in American soccer, but they're like, nah, we're going to go to the Premier League. Like, that's just the reason.
Oh my gosh.
That's just, what is it?
We have 989 billionaires in the United States.
Jesus.
We have the most. We are followed by China with 539 billionaires.
Jesus.
India has a bunch too, and Germany and Russia.
Oh, do you really think the Russian one is real though?
I mean, a billion of like nothing because like their currency is like worth like nothing. It's like worth like less than toilet paper.
Yeah, but it's weird to think. It's like it's weird to think that we have all of these. Yeah, no, it's all over right now. That you try to get to the chat and all the other stuff. Yeah, no, the chat. You guys love all the different comments coming in, but yeah, no, I am all over the place right now. But the reason that the Premier League has so much money over all of and the Saudi money. Good point there, Backo. Yeah, I forgot. Man City's got all the Saudi money. And then Newcastle's got oil money as well, even though they're not very good anymore. But the Premier League, the reason they have all the money is because all the billionaires across the world, whether that's America or Saudi, all invest in Premier League clubs, or they're minority owners, or they're majority owners. You don't see that in La Liga. You don't see that in the Bundesliga. You don't see that in Ligue 1 outside of PSG. You just don't. I would not be surprised if one day, because of the recent Aston Villa success, that all of a sudden, maybe Elon Musk who says, you know what, Jeff Bezos, I got an ego too. I'm going to be a minority owner of Aston Villa. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at that one day because the amount of money that just get pumped into the Premier League all the time, the broadcasting money, the player contracts, the transfer fees. Is Morgan Rogers really worth $117 million? God, no. Is Elliot Anderson really worth $116 million? God, no. But Anthony Gordon, who goes to La Liga, all of a sudden is $70 million? That's all Newcastle got for Anthony Gordon because he went to La Liga? No, it's absolutely crazy the amount of money they have. And then you look at the quality of teams in the Premier League compared to the rest. I mean, I would argue Real Madrid and Barcelona would fit perfectly fine. Bayern Munich, PSG would fit perfectly fine in the Premier League. But after you get past those teams, there is a massive drop-off with the rest of their players or the rest of their teams in those leagues. However, the Premier League, I mean, Burnley and Wolves give sometimes Man City and Arsenal a run for their money. Sometimes the bottom half of the table going away gives the top of the half of the table a run for their money. It's just difficult, but when you go to, it's just different. And then when you go to Real Madrid and Barcelona, Gareth Bale said it himself. He goes, half the season in La Liga, it's all about how much are we going to win by? 5 or 6 goals? Like, that's just the reality of it. You go to Bayern Munich or the Bundesliga, they could be losing 2-0 in like the 75th minute. All of a sudden, they win 4-5-2. That's just insane. PSG, they risk their starters half the year in Ligue 1 and save them for the Champions League because the league doesn't have any quality at all. Serie A is pretty competitive. It's just their teams just aren't that good compared to the rest of the world, if that makes any sense. But that is why so much money just gets tied into the Premier League. And I mean, hey, I'm a Premier League fan. A lot of my friends are Premier League fans. It seems like a majority of you guys are not Premier League fans, but no, it's just wild the amount of money that is in the Premier League compared to the rest. That's why I call it a farmers league for all the other leagues. Yeah, La Liga's got some of the top teams in the world, but and the Bundesliga's got Bayern Munich, Ligue 1's got PSG, back-to-back Champions League winners, but the rest of the league, it's just a massive drop-off compared to the Premier League. And I think Swiss brings up a very good point there. Bundesliga has rules that no one can buy a club, no big investors are allowed. And I think that's why you see teams like Dortmund have to sell off all their players all the time, and it's just Bayern Munich who buys. That's a very good point that you have there, but Premier League has no rules against that at all. It just feels like it's an open market all the time with all the different American owners that are just taking charge of everything that they can, and that's why you see all the amount of money that they've been spending. Abramovich also ruined a lot of the transfer market as well. Back in the day, he was trying to get all the top players spend crazy, ridiculous amounts of money. I did see the what is it on Netflix? The Liverpool, like when they won the Champions League, the comeback against AC Milan. I think Istanbul. I think Turkey, where they won it against AC Milan. I think they're down like 3-4-0, and they won it in a PK shootout, which, by the way, I don't know how in the world they allowed those goalkeepers to take like 6 different steps to like before they shot and saved. That made no sense. But back then, the main point is Stevie G was going for like $70 million back then. That's how much Chelsea wanted to buy him for, and even though that wasn't his market, but it's just crazy the amount of money that the Premier League has, and that's why I think that they are just far better than all of them. And that's why when you ask a lot of American fans, it's almost like that's why the American investors go over there and want to spend all their money to receive some sort of return, some ROI. And that's why you ask a majority of American fans who they're fans of. Big six clubs, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, City, Tottenham, Chelsea that I mentioned. Yesterday, just walking around Comerica Park where the Tigers play, and I'm seeing Arsenal jerseys. I'm seeing Manchester United jerseys. I'm like, guys, this is a baseball game. Why am I seeing Premier League jerseys right now inside Comerica Park? It just makes no sense. But that is just the reality of it. Let's see here. Couple of comments coming in. Let's see here. EPL, Bacco says, EPL is the best by far. I can't watch any other leagues. Yeah, I mean, if I would probably watch like some of the mid-table teams play each other, but I can't watch any of the mid-table teams play like in La Liga or the Bundesliga. So I would agree to that point. But I mean, if Real Madrid and Barcelona plays, I definitely watch that. After Messi left, oh my God, my laptop just glitched there. After Messi left, they changed the Copa America to every 4 years. I did see that. They're going to line it up with the years of when the Euros take place. I think that's a very good thing because all those players will play at the same time. I like the little unison that they got going on there. A Liverpool fan left the stadium at halftime and was in a taxi in the city when the PK happens. Oh my God, that would be the worst decision I think you could ever make. In reality, when you're winning a Champions League like that and just having a crazy comeback the way Liverpool did against AC Milan back in the day, which, by the way, Italy. Dude, I was looking at that AC Milan team and like the aura that team had back then. Messi lover, yeah, he's the greatest player of all time. Like the aura that AC Milan team had back in the day was just unbelievable. Those players were gods. And it's like, how is Italy and Serie A just falling off the face of the earth like that too? And then you go back to Juventus like in the early 2010s, and it was Pogba, Vidal, Pirlo, who else am I blanking on? Chiellini, Bonucci, Buffon, all those players. Dani Alves was there for a second. And it's like all those Serie A players, and it's like Christian Pulisic is running your league for 6 months. Like that's just unheard of that an American is doing that. And the aura that the Italian soccer league had and Serie A had just absolutely just has fallen by the wayside. I can't believe the fall off that AC Milan, Inter Milan, Serie A have had, and it's just absolutely crazy about how crazy, or just absolutely crazy about the fall off they've had since those like early 2010s, late 2000s, early 2010s, and that they just fallen by the wayside and they don't produce the talent anymore. And it's just crazy to think when watching that documentary and like not even 15 years ago, it was just crazy to see about how great those teams were. Swiss, I'm not a big Lichtsteiner fan simply because he was on Arsenal at the twilight of his career and he did absolutely jack shit for us. But yeah, no, he was on Juventus during those Champions League runs. Carlos Tevez was even there as well, the Argentine, who is probably one of the most hated players of all time when he moved from, United to City, and then he went to Juventus. I felt like not a lot of people really like Carlos Tevez. Last question here before we get to a break. Does James have Bieber fever? James, do you have that?
Wait, have you not seen me? Wait, have you not seen me on camera?
I guess not.
I do not have Bieber fever anymore. It's gone. See?
Yeah, he's got a normal haircut now.
Yeah, it's gone. No more Bieber fever for James.
No more Bieber fever for James. Probably perform better than Justin Bieber in the halftime show.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I would have played Wonderwall.
Said baby. Yeah, no, Wonderwall is a very good song. But let's take a quick break here on Inside the Game. We'll talk about how I think all of the USA host cities are still waiting on their $1 million from Infantino, who just seems like he's not giving it to them at all. So don't go anywhere. Episode 332 will continue after this.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
Orange Slices is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action on FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB.
21 and over, select state. Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcast.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Great game footage starts with Veo. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, welcome back into Inside the Game, episode 332. Again, continue to smash that like button. Let's try to get to 5 likes here today. And subscribe if you have not already. Swiss says Ryan's going to talk about that halftime show the rest of his life. Until I get a good halftime show, I'll stop talking about it. Super Bowl had no good halftime show, and FIFA had no good halftime show. Which, by the way, why do we even have a halftime show? In the World Cup final, I really do not know. But anyways, moving on to the second topic here today on Inside the Game. It has been reported yesterday that World Cup host cities are pressing FIFA over the reported $1 million legacy promises. According to reports, U.S. cities that hosted matches in the 2026 FIFA World Cup are publicly demanding $1 million each from FIFA for the legacy contributions that they said they were promised to but have never paid it yet. Before the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup in the U.S., which Chelsea did win, Infantino announced that each of the 11 host cities would receive $1 million toward building mini pitches and supporting social projects. When the 12 U.S. host cities for the 2026 World Cup asked if they would get the same amount, FIFA senior management verbally assured them that they would. Despite repeated assurances, no payments have been made 3 weeks after the tournament, which is now, I think, 4 weeks now. The cities say the money is owed because they hosted multiple games over 39 days. The higher costs and responsibilities of the Club World Cup. Just no comment at all from any of FIFA. They have declined to comment on the 2026 payments. Several host cities and city committees are now seeking updates and may be preparing financial reports to justify the demand. The issue is drawing social media attention and political pressure on FIFA leadership. But, by the way, I hate Bad Bunny. He is not good. I don't know why people think I like Bad Bunny, but I am not doing that at all. Anyway, the amount, I think what did they say? FIFA got $12 billion in revenue. It's like the highest ever. So they have to give up $12 million to the U.S. host cities. I feel like that's pennies to them. They made $12 billion, and then Infantino wanted to sell private investments where he's going to pocket $10 million. It's like, guys, just give the host cities the $12 million. Look, I imagine these host cities turned an insane amount of profit during the World Cup, with the hotels, because I bet you the hotels jacked up their prices. I bet you the restaurants jacked up their prices. Uber, the taxis, They jacked up their prices. All the prices were jacked up. Have you ever been to a Super Bowl? Have you ever been to a Super Bowl week during the week of the Super Bowl in the host city? Yeah, those prices are insane. To go a block, like 2 blocks in a taxi cab, it's like $100 back in the day in Detroit. Like, that's unheard of. Like, $100 to go 2 blocks. I might as well just walk. Like, that's just crazy to those prices. But everywhere you go, no matter if it's a college football town like Mount Pleasant, all of a sudden it's like $300 a night to stay in a hotel. No issues there. The issue that everyone has is they were promised they were all promised $1 million each for hosting a World Cup, or we're hosting a World Cup venue. Like, that is what is the crazy part to me. That's the issue that I have. Again, I bet you any money these host cities turn an insane amount of profit even last summer in the Club World Cup, and even this past summer in the World Cup, with the amount of people that are going to their bars. I'm sure the Boston area turned a crazy amount of profit with all the Scottish drinking all their beer. I bet you all that. I bet you they made a crazy amount of profit. The hotels, the restaurants, the bars, as we mentioned, the Ubers, the taxis, all the different stores that are, all the local stores that are probably selling memorabilia, all the people sitting on the side of the street. 2 for $20 here for your hats. Boston, get your Boston hats here. 2 for $20. Like, I'm sure they probably did that. It's probably more like 2 for $40, for being completely honest with the World Cup prices. So I'm sure they made a shit ton of money. I'm sure that $1 million will obviously help them, but I'm sure they made more than $1 million off the World Cup in those host cities. Just look at the amount of money they made in past World Cups in those host cities. But again, it's Infantino just not delivering on his promises. It's Infantino being corrupt as normal. It's FIFA being corrupt as normal. Look at Sepp Blatter. Look at Infantino recently. It feels like since I've watched soccer, FIFA has just gotten more corrupt over the years. I just don't get it. And the people in the host cities, they have a right to be upset. If you're promised $1 million, if I was promised $1 million, and even though I made a profit, I'm like, you promised me $1 million on it. They doubled down on it last summer in the Club World Cup, and now it's 2026. It's now August 13th. World Cup ended in 6 days. So next Tuesday, next Wednesday, the World Cup would have ended a month ago, and they still don't have any of that at all. So, and they even banned tailgating there too in the World Cup because they wanted people to go into the Fan Fest, and that costs like $20 to get into. So all this money that FIFA has made, and you can't give them the $1 million. That's just what all the greed is of FIFA, and that's the greed of Infantino and what he's been trying to accomplish here. Again, never going to, belittle a company or a person who's just trying to create more money for their company, their organization, and whatnot. Because, you got to make money somehow. That's how you succeed. And they clearly made all of that money in this past World Cup in 2026. But now they can't deliver on their promises into the host cities that hosted everything, did all the heavy lifting, did all the dirty work. They just can't do it, and it's just sad to see, because the amount of people that put an effort to turn this World Cup into a great venue, and it truly was great. And that's not even, again, this doesn't have anything to do with the Mexico cities or the Canada cities. Those cities were not reported anything at all. They haven't said that they were promised $1 million and didn't get $1 million. So I can't say anything about them because there's no information to talk about. This is just strictly the USA cities. So it's sad to see that they don't have that they're not getting any of their money that they deserve. Fabian says, Ryan promised me that he will wear a Real Madrid jersey for one episode and hasn't. When did I say I'd wear a Real Madrid jersey? I think he's just gaslighting me here, Fabian. I think you're just lying to me. But yeah, no, James, you've had some thoughts about Infantino and all the corrupt of FIFA. What do you have to say on the matter here?
Everything's that was messed up. Everything's just par for the course. FIFA is just it's almost like at Starbucks, right? I know my name is James, but when I see the name come up, it's going to be like Jameis or like or like Jamus. Or some misspelling, right? I expect it. I know what's going to happen. It's almost basically the marketing at this point, right? So it's like, yeah, that's all I'm expecting with this. When it comes to FIFA and Infantino, I'm like, yeah, He ain't gonna step down either, is he?
No. That Swiss brings up a good point here. He says they said they wait on the $12 million from FIFA, and FIFA told them when you vote for Infantino in the spring, you'll get your money. So I mean, crazy re-election tactic there. Well, you'll get your money if you vote for me again. Which I mean, I don't think you can do that when you're promised all that money.
That's not buying votes at all.
No, it is just crazy, man. And it's like sitting there like watching from afar. I mean, obviously I'm not involved in FIFA or any of the higher ups of soccer or anything like that. And it's like sitting there and it's like you promise to do all these things and you're not going to do it. And again, Infantino, you can just tell the man is just corrupt. But I mean, that's a lot of different leagues around the world, though. If you look at it in the game of soccer, there's always some shady stuff going on all the time. You look at what Argentina was doing. Reportedly, what Argentina was doing, all of a sudden that's gone crickets. You look at what Infantino was trying to do or if you look at, I mean, I know Infantino wasn't involved in Qatar getting a World Cup, but I mean, look at before that how Qatar got the World Cup and the thousands of workers that died putting away with it. That just got swept under the rug like nothing ever happened. And then you look at what has happened in this past, all the complications of all these host cities in this past year of trying to host all these World Cup games in these cities. And again, Nate and I argued on that for months on it. And it's like, at the time, it's like, let's just let it play out, man. Like we're getting there. And it felt like there was never an issue, and I don't think there was a massive issue once the games got rolling, but you could tell that they haven't gotten their promised $1 million, and these cities are rightfully they have a right to be upset about this all the time, because when you're promised $1 million and they double down on it, and an organization that made over $12 billion in a tournament that you hosted, you deserve to get your $1 million, and it's just not fair.
So basically, the halftime show that we do when we do our halftime show, we're gonna do some bare naked ladies. If I had $1 million,
it's like, come on, like. How are you so corrupt? And then you hear that they're trying to expand the field even more to 64 teams, and it's like, I don't know how much these players can take that wear and tear on their body. We understand why it's going to 64.
Sure, I don't know how I could take the wear and tear on me as a fan.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a lot. I mean, the World Cup was a lot.
And I don't know if people felt like this, but it felt like this during the World Cup, where it's like, does it almost feel like it's just too much soccer going on?
It was so much.
Like, so many.
I was getting fatigued.
Like, so many games. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, for a week or two, I'm like, dude, 4 games a day. This is awesome. But, like, once we get to the round of 16, it's like,
yeah, no.
Can we get to the end of things? Let's finally get a break here. Then we got to the quarterfinals and we finally had like a day off of soccer, which, don't get me wrong, wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was just like, we have so many games. Now we add more teams into the mix. Now that's probably like 5 games a day, which is like, am I really going to watch a game versus Jordan versus Algeria? Probably not, because like I need to go to bed. There's so many games going on. There's just so much thrown at
next
you.
Week.
And it's always thrown at you, and it's like, damn, bro, like that's just too much soccer. And that's why I haven't paid as much attention to the transfer window recently, because I need a break from all the soccer. Why did I not even realize about the UEFA Super League? Because I'm like not trying to watch all this soccer at the moment. I love the game of soccer, one of my most favorite sports of all time, but I think there was just too much soccer in the World Cup, and we're seeing a little bit of fatigue. Now we're going to go to 64, and it's like, damn, guys, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of games that I got to watch. It's a lot of content that I'm trying to consume. That's a lot of reaction videos I got to consume. So it's just a lot of soccer. That's why I don't want to see 64, but we all know why it's going to 64.
Oh my gosh, how many videos were you making? I mean,
too much. Couple comments here. Fabian says, did you ever mention about the Puerto Rico national team selection? I have not. I don't know too much about that. Swiss says FIFA had I'm not even trying to pronounce that. After the last scandal under Blattner, Infantino canceled that right after he got elected. That's no surprise there at all. James got an Anchorman hairstyle. Go F yourself, San Diego. That's why I only watch soccer only for 4 years. You're not watching the Leagues Cup. I watched the Leagues Cup for the USA prospects, if that makes any sense. I watched the Philadelphia Union. I watched the New York Red Bulls. And that's about it, LM. I'm not like super in tune to it as well, but I'm also been watching a lot of Tigers baseball because this is the biggest week of their season.
Holy shit. You know what I just realized, Ryan?
What?
I did not go to a game this year.
Go to what?
I have not gone to a Tigers game this year.
Well, you still can. It's not like the season just ended.
Yeah, I got to get on that. I have not gone yet. I got to get over there.
You can go today at 1 o'clock. That game's at 1 o'clock.
That's true.
But no, to answer your question, LM, I have not sat down and like fully paid attention. Games have been on in the background, but I've really just been looking at on Twitter for highlights and stuff, and really seeing how the USA prospects done. Because once the shame on me. But once the like Premier League season gets going, then I'll tune back into all things soccer. But for right now, I just don't want to watch all this soccer right now. It just feels like there's just so much soccer going on. But no, I've kept tabs on it. I saw Inter Miami's eliminated. I know Columbus Crew's in a very good spot to advance. There was, what did I see the other day? I think a goalkeeper. No, that was actually somewhere else. I saw a goalkeeper who saved like 4 PKs. So no, I've seen a lot of it. I've kept tabs on it. I'm just not like invested into it like I normally am. Shout out Baco, by the way. Hit the horn for him. I'll be at the Cruz Chicago Fire game today. Lewandowski. Shout out the Polish striker himself. I do want to go to a couple of my buddies live in Chicago. I want to go to the Chicago Fire game simply because they're Polish as well. We want to see the GOAT Robert Lewandowski play. Which, by the way, we did cover. What was it? We did cover their U.S. Open Cup game against Detroit City FC this past spring when they traveled to Keyworth. We were there. We interviewed, what was his name? Shukaluk, and the guy who had the other goal. Got his name. But we interviewed a couple of those ones. Shout out Greg Berhalter for not wanting to interview with us, though. Shout out Greg. That's why he sucks. That's why he'll never be the U.S. men's national team coach ever again. Shout out to him. What team is good to watch in the MLS besides Inter Miami? Vancouver's pretty good. I like the way Chicago Fire played. I like watching the Red Bulls simply because of the USA prospects. I do like watching them. But yeah, no, I don't. Well, I'm not like totally in tune with the MLS. So yeah, and then Swiss Michael says I watched track and field Euro Championships. And on no shame on James for not seeing a Tigers game live. LOL.
Oh. No. It's self shame. All right, I'm giving myself self shame. Yeah, because I mean it's a pastime for me. So like I grew up going to the Tigers back in the day, back at Tiger Stadium. You know, back in the day.
Was that stadium any good though? It felt like it was just like an old soccer stadium, just like holes in the way. There was like no room to see anything.
The floor was permanently sticky with beer.
Checks out. That makes sense.
You had of course, the pee trough for the men.
Makes sense.
Sword fights. And, it was just, it was the nostalgia of it. You know, it was a big old school stadium. Like I felt like I was hanging out in like the 20s or like the 30s or something like that, you know, back in the day when it was first really big. And so I love that. And then Comerica Park came out, obviously. Love that. And then when I had my kids, you know, we started that as a tradition. Like anytime there was like a deal going on, like they'll do like that 1776 ticket deal or whatever. So we'd go, and it's just, it's so nice. It's just a great experience, and I go every year, but this year I have not gone yet. So,
well, you still got time. You got like a month and a half to go.
I got to get on that, and then of course our Renaissance Fair is here too. So I've got a bunch of stuff that I got to get going before the end of this month.
Swiss Michael, last comment before we get to break. Baseball in the USA soon in the playoffs, right? Yeah, it starts end of September, early October. So yeah, no, it's definitely getting to the nitty gritty of it. So let's step aside here. We'll talk about Messi on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere. Inside the game, we'll continue.
Great game footage starts with Veo. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, welcome into our final topic of Inside the Game and also our question of the day. Again, appreciate everyone that has tuned in here today. Baco, Swiss, Dave, Fabian, and LM, as always, who have been chiming in on the show. Appreciate you guys as always. My name is Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield, our producer in the building. Again, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button if you have not already. Let's get into the last topic of discussion today. This was on Messi. He had a statement yesterday on his dad's passing, which happened, I think, last week. He did get sick right before the World Cup. If you can put that statement up for us, James, we'll read it for you guys. Really heavy heart, though, for Messi and what he was really going through during this World Cup. He says, "Dad, I still can't believe you're gone. It hasn't sunk in, or rather, I don't want it to. So hard for me to imagine that I'm never going to see you again, that we're never going to talk again. I know you were suffering, and that this is for the best, but you left too soon. We still had so much left to enjoy together. You asked me so many times to play in one last World Cup, and just days before it started was when you took a turn for the worse. It was the first time you weren't going to be at a tournament, but Mom kept telling me that you were going to get better and that you'd be well enough to travel. I kept telling you that we were going to make it to the final so you could travel. Every time a match ended, I waited for and missed your message. That's when I realized how serious the situation really was. Even so, I couldn't stop thinking about going as far as possible to give you more time and so you could watch a match. We made it to the final and you couldn't be there." Yeah, no, that is extremely sad for Messi. Obviously, there's a lot of emotions going through him throughout the entire tournament, and you could see the passion that he was playing with the entire time. You saw after the England game, you saw during the Egypt comeback, you saw during the Cape Verde, and he just really was on a different level still at the age of, I think he's 39 or 40, whatever it is. I still think he could really make it to the next World Cup. I think him and Ronaldo really do, and that's just sad. Whether you hate Argentina, whether you hate Messi, that's still got to make you feel some sort of way about it. Definitely makes you feel it makes me feel some sort of way. James, we'll get your opinion here in a quick second. But no, it is just sad to see Messi, the greatest player of all time, going through that. And you saw during the World Cup in 2022 in the final that he was like, if you make out his words during the PK shootout, he's talking about his grandma that passed away, before the 2022 World Cup. And there was always something about like, him and his grandma always talked that he would one day win the World Cup for Argentina, and he did it obviously, and didn't have his grandma around. And then obviously this year with his dad not being around at all the games, it's always got to be tough. But James, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's always a hard thing to deal with. My dad actually passed away a few years back, and it's hard to try to keep going, during those times. And just having to deal with that in the midst of trying to play the game as best you can when you're dealing with all that strife, and it kind of reminds me too of what was it like 2000 something, was it 2003 2004 or something like that. Brett Favre had kind of the same issue where his dad passed, and like literally not even 24 hours later he was playing a game.
Yeah,
and so it's heartbreaking. You hate to see it, and obviously my heart always goes out to Messi and his family, of course, with that.
Yeah, it's crazy to see these aren't like the only two examples, but seeing athletes, after a kid passes away or just had a kid, and they're playing a game like not even 24 hours later, like it is, or their parents just got sick. Like it's absolutely wild that they go out there and they play, but at the same time, I think the sport is, at least for sports fans as well, and watching movies and playing sports and watching sports, like it's almost like an escape from reality for a couple of hours. And and I think that playing the sport and playing in that World Cup probably helped Messi more than I think people even realize, because that's probably why they're going extra time so much, because he just wanted that extra 30 minutes, 45 minutes not to think about it. But
no, I get it. Like I was the same way. Like when my dad went, like it was weird because like I didn't cry or anything like when it first happened, because I was the one also like planning the funeral and stuff. And it was weird because it's like, yeah, it was my dad's funeral, but at the same time I was so busy planning it, I wasn't thinking about it. And like the second the funeral was over and I went home, done.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, yeah, so I get it. Like you bury yourself in work just to avoid the pain.
Yeah, no, and he played great in this World Cup. Whether you hate the guy or not, you don't want to see Argentina win. Yeah, that's completely fine. You can hate the guy, but I mean, hearing about all this, and his dad passed away recently. I think August 8th was the day, but he came out and said it. And Inter Miami, I think he recently played for them. I think the other day is when he got back out and played for Inter Miami. So no, he was. It's crazy to see, and he's got a heavy heart, and that gives a lot of. That just gives a lot to the credit to him. Shows a lot of his character and what he's been doing, during that World Cup. And I can't imagine, right when the games end, you're going to like your phone to text your mom or your family member, or whatever it is, just to be like, yo, what is he doing? How's he doing? Like that's gotta be a massive wear and tear, on his mind too. As much as they say the physicality of sports, like the mentality, the mental side of things is just It's like equally as important.
I can only imagine too, like, after the matches, like, just thinking about, I'm going to text my dad. It's like,
he even said it, not getting the text after the game.
Exactly. It's like, having that is just,
yeah, it's just quiet there. Swiss Michael says, never ever, no Ronaldo, no Messi at the World Cup. Ronaldo is the GOAT though. I do think the reason why I say Messi and Ronaldo will be at the next World Cup, it's going to start in Argentina, not going to miss a home World Cup. Ronaldo, home World Cup at Portugal. It's an expanded roster. It's 26. So realistically, you saw in the last World Cup, 7 to 8 players will not see the field at all. And you just have them there, and then FIFA will give those two a layup in the round of 32 or in the group stage. And it's like, you're going to throw those guys out there because they want to see those guys in a home World Cup on their home soil. They're going to play. They're still in really good shape. Do I really see them playing, at the club level very highly? I don't think so. You could see Ronaldo get to Sporting Lisbon. Maybe that's where he started. Messi might be playing in Argentina. I think that they're going to make an appearance in the 2030 World Cup. They're not going to be at where they are. They're not going to be at the height of the peak of their ability. They're not going to be dominating. No, they're just going to get out there. They're just going to be a roster spot, and then they're going to have them on the sideline. They're going to warm up, and the fans are going to go crazy. But no, I don't think, because it's a home world. Now, if this was a different World Cup and it wasn't going to be a home World Cup, I could see it. But I think that they're going to make an appearance in 2030. LM says, I agree. I do believe rivalries aside, anytime you see athletes who you consistently watch lose a family member or go through something heavy, it's heartbreaking no matter what. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's a hit the horn there for LM. That's a very good point. He said, yeah, it is. It is like the Michigan State rivalry. I remember in 2023, the winter of 2023, they of course had the school shooting in a couple, I think 4 or 5 students, passed away, and which, by the way, they have not. I've been on the campus of Michigan State since then, and they still have not opened up those buildings at all, which is crazy to think about. They have not opened up those halls, but like 4 or 5 days after that shooting, they have to travel to Ann Arbor to take on their arch rival in Michigan in basketball, and you could see the amount of respect that Michigan had for Michigan State, all the different things that they were doing. They even played one of the Michigan State songs, like I don't think it was a fight song, but like one of their student songs. I don't know the exact terminology was for it, but you could see the amount that Michigan was doing towards Michigan State. And when something tragic like that happened, a family member passing away, whatever it is, you can just see the rivalries aside. They all come together as one. Mbappe is the man and will win the Ballon d'Or. Mbappe is trash. He doesn't show up in the big moments. Remember, in elimination games for club or country, 1 goal every 233 minutes. He just is not clutch at all. Portugal will be much better without Ronaldo. They won all youth titles. I agree. I think Ronaldo. I think Roberto Martinez was also at fault as well. I don't think he managed that team very well at all. And Ronaldo, I think, they just tried to force the ball to Ronaldo a little too much. Again, before we get into question of the day, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you have not already. We love the support on all of our videos as well. Let's get into question of the day here, James. We're running a little behind, but that's all.
Yeah, we're all right. We're running just a tad bit over.
No members only today, so.
But yeah, this one's beyond the stat sheet. So I want to know from your perspective, Ryan, what is the most underrated trait that coaches look for during player scouting?
So for soccer, I think this is the most underrated thing for. It might be a little bit of a cliche, but I think this goes into to all sports. Football, basketball, whatever it is. But I look at it and I think the most underrated, as you say, it's always the hustle. It's the care. It's the you can teach certain skills. You can teach how to strike the ball correctly. You could how to read the game. Yada yada. All those fun things. But you can't teach heart. You can't teach that. That's just something that's obvious. That's something inside of you. That's something that, are you going to go that extra mile? Are you going to give that extra effort? Are you going to make that extra 5-10 yard sprint to go win the ball or make that run? I think, having heart and, caring is just one of those most underrated traits, because I feel like, from a fan perspective, and I think from a coaching perspective, you can see it all the time with coaches. You see it all the time with basketball and football, like the physical attributes. I think we all get lost in the physical attributes. You see a football player, a 6'7", 300-pound right tackle, left tackle, offensive line, might be a 3-star recruit, but all of a sudden Alabama brings him in because they think that we can turn him into the next Trent Williams. And it's like, yeah, but is he really that good? Does he really care about being there? And you see it all the time in soccer as well. Like Abu Diaby, he was one of those guys for Arsenal. It was like, I know injuries derailed him, but like the physical attributes of a CDM, a proper 6, and being a Patrick Vieira, and it's like, oh my God, he's so good. Like, he's going to be so good for us. And it's like, did he really care? Did he really want to be there? All that fun stuff. Like Darko Milicic, him for the Detroit Pistons, had all the physical attributes, had all the size, had all the speed, all the length, all the skill, but he didn't give a shit at all. So it's like, you've got to have that heart as well, and I think that is the most underrated trait. That I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but I think that is still the most underrated thing, because you can't teach heart. You just can't.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's like, I think with me too, it goes along the same kind of lines. It's like having a collaborative mindset.
Yeah.
Just having that kind of ingrained in you, because obviously, you can kind of fake it till you make it a little bit with that kind of thing, where you can kind of like do certain things, but you have to have that mindset, right? You have to have that always in the back of your mind, like almost like an instinct to work with your team rather than just try to go for the goal, right?
Yeah. That's a good point. That's good.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of a big deal, because again, right there, you could, I look at it from like a musician's perspective, for instance. You could have like the greatest guitar player of all time, like a Stevie Ray Vaughan or something, but if you watch him,
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, exactly. Had to hit the horn for that one. But like, if you watch
Texas
his shows,
Flood is so good, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. But if you watch like his shows, he leaves time for like his other musician friends to be able to get highlighted and have their shine. And like their keyboardist was amazing, their bassist was amazing. All that stuff, in music and sports, that's what it is. Like a team sport, it's just a jam session, right? You're just jamming with your friends on the team, So it's like you got to leave that space for everybody else to be able to shine as well, and be able to boost them up and be able to help them out when they're kind of down. And I think that's definitely one of the most important things.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Man, it would be so awesome to see Stevie Ray Vaughan live. If,
oh my gosh!
Did he die like in a helicopter accident?
Yeah, he died in a crash. But yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan. But then now though, you can always watch Kenny Wayne Shepherd, who grew up sitting on Stevie Ray Vaughan speakers on tour.
Okay, so he does like really all good. The covers and stuff.
Yeah, just look up. No, he actually he does his own stuff, but it's very very like. Very in tune with Stevie Ray Vaughan. So just look up Blue on Black. That's one of the best like Stevie Ray Vaughan-ish songs. Like
gotcha.
It's just like there's like he does have some songs that are like huge, like guitar solos and all that stuff like Stevie would do. But it's just that classic like Texas style blues.
Gotcha. By the way, 100 messages. Hit the horn for them. Let's go last couple times. Before we step aside, LM says Argentina, on the other hand, don't know what they will do, what they'll look like without Messi. I would agree. I don't know what Argentina is going to do. Even Garnacho, who's supposed to be like one of their next best players, has absolutely sucked since leaving United to go to Chelsea. What without Messi, Argentina get 2 red cards every game. That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Argent FIFA, Ryan loves Argent FIFA and Messi. I just love Messi, bro. I really don't care what Argentina does. If Messi's there, I'm rooting for him.
I just loved him in the Spider-Man ad.
Yeah, he does.
With Tom Holland.
Remember when
you're
the
Messi.
boys,
See?
the boys came out with Will Smith and everything.
Oh yeah.
And Messi goes to the door. He's like, "The boys, the boys,
Yeah.
the boys."
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny one. But it's true what you say. You gotta hustle. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Gotta work hard to be the man. Fabian says, "I love the show." Well, we love you guys tuning into the show all the time. Without you guys, we don't have a show.
James loves Mbappe.
No, James loves Japan. He loves Japan.
Yes, give me my Japan all day.
I would love to see Steve Tyler sing, but he can't.
I mean, Steve Tyler blew out his voice a long time ago. Let's be real. Like, if you listen to the original Aerosmith stuff, it sounds nothing like him.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of those singers back in the day blew out their voices.
Well, yeah, it was the booze and all that stuff too. Like that does your vocal cords in.
Yeah,
like real good. That's why mine like to mess up every once in a while because I was in a cover band.
Gotcha. Swiss says, "Fake it till you make it." Should have known about that when I was 19 years old. LOL.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's gonna wrap up. Again, appreciate Fabian, Swiss, Dave, LM, Baco for tuning into the show here this morning. Again, remember to like the live stream. We're like 1 away, I think, from 5. Smash that like button if you have not already, or smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you have not either. Again, we'll be back here tomorrow for the last show of the week, episode 333. We'll talk about the Premier League predictions and some other soccer storylines going into the season because no show next week, and by the next time we have a show, the seasons and the leagues would have already started. But again, appreciate all the love. We'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 333. All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
You are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you and you guys know what you're doing, and